Hey, so welcome back, friends of TechFlow. Today we are looking at a really cool device. This is a product from a company called Loupedeck, specifically the Loupedeck Live. Now, I'll put us all in the same boat here. I'm not sure really what this is, does, or it's for. I've got a general idea, but basically what I'm going with is it's basically a Stream Deck on steroids. Now, I'm gonna warn you now, this video is gonna be shot over the next couple of weeks because this product is that intricate, I literally can't just film with it over one day. Loupedeck have sent this out and sponsored this video, however, usual practice is I will let you know my thoughts of this. Loupedeck have bought airtime, not my review. It is an array of buttons and knobs, and all of these have a really nice tactile feel to them as you twist them round, and they also all click in. I think all these are little displays with sort of touch capacitive changeable buttons, which are awesome. It is a 21st century product. We've got USB-C to USB-C here. It is also a braided cable, and they include a USB-A to USB-C adapter in the box should you be using USB-A on your machine. So this is the first time I've plugged this Loupedeck into my Mac right here, and I've downloaded the software, but instantly it has displayed me with a few options here as if it's already been set up, and it does work. So you can see here we have some media controls. Down here at the bottom, I'm pretty sure these things are called workspaces. So what you can do is go ahead and have different workspaces and click through these, and then they will display different icons. You notice these sort of elongated pieces either side. These are corresponding to what these dials are doing. So you can see here we have a volume icon. As I twist there, you can see this is the volume on the computer. Now I assume this big one here will open up a Google Chrome window as it does, and then you can go to YouTube and we're good to go. Obviously we've got our volume here. This is sick. I'm really liking this. Web scroll. Oh yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. This is cool. So basically what I said at the start of this video still absolutely stands. It's a Stream Deck on steroids. It's built really well and it's for creative use. You can go ahead and have anything you want on here, so you can customize it to your heart's content, which obviously I'm gonna be doing over the next few weeks to work it into my workflow, and then I can tell you my actual thoughts of it and if I think it's worth a place on your desk. But so far, so good. It's a really satisfying device to use. We can do Spotify volume. I've got the main volume of the computer on this dial over here, but I can specifically control the Spotify volume. So if we drag that to here, we should see this light up in real time. Now this is our Spotify specific volume. And then a simple one here, just toggle playback and pause. Now let's open up Spotify, see if this works. So our main volume for our computer is working. However, we should be able to independently here control the volume for Spotify and use our skip track buttons and pause. There we go. It's pretty responsive. So first impressions, yeah, I really like this thing. Now, it's been a few weeks since I was last on camera, and it's because I've been really putting this thing through its paces. As you can now see, we are in my office, and I've brought the device up here because this is where I'm most productive. And over the last few weeks, I really have been going in on this device to make it custom and make it mine. And to do that, there is a little bit of faff involved, i.e. I've had to go into Photoshop and make some of my own custom buttons, which obviously I'll show you guys because they're on my Loupedeck right here. But let's go for a quick tour of my setup now to see how I'm using this when I first approach my desk. Now, the one thing that I really liked about this device, as you guys saw a few weeks ago, when we first plugged it in downstairs, it already pre-populated all of these little screens with a few icons. So when you get it, it doesn't just sort of leave you in the dark and think, right, you need to make all of your own icons. However, that is what I've done here. And as you can see, this is completely custom. So I've got my most used apps up here at the top: Spotify, Chrome, Discord, WhatsApp, and then obviously Origin, because I'm always playing Apex. We've got Premiere and Photoshop here. Now, I'm gonna put the link to my Photoshop file to create these down below if you do get one of these and you wanna create your own little icons. So to demonstrate how responsive this is, let's open Spotify right now. And as you can see, bang, just like that, it comes up. Now I can open up my other things. I've got Chrome here. I can obviously open up my Discord. And the other thing that I use all the time is my WhatsApp. I'm always on there talking to clients and things, so I can open that right here. Now, one of my favorite little use cases for this is this mappable button down in the bottom corner. Now, what I'm always doing is dragging windows from one monitor to the other. And it's not a huge task, but it could be made much simpler by the use of this little button here. So let's say I've got my Spotify window selected. I can click this button and physically just move it to an opposite screen, which is awesome. So let's just say I want to move this Chrome window. I can click on the Chrome button here to select it and then physically move it to the monitor that I want, and then I'm ready to go. It really makes life simple. Now it's really cool with all of these custom actions up here opening programs, but obviously that's super simple. We can take it to the next level by adding shortcuts. So I've got a print screen button here. If I click this, it's automatically going to give me my select area tool so I can go ahead and create a screenshot just like that. We've got two separate folders here. I'm not sure if you'll see, but one of them actually has the TechFlow logo on it. So if I click that, it's going to open my TechFlow folder, which has all of our TechFlow projects in it. If I click the one below, well, that's just my downloads folder. And like I said earlier, I can move these windows around to whatever screen I want. Now, the dials of this device are why I think you would buy this device over other devices that can sort of do the same thing. Now, let me explain. Having a dial is really cool just for sort of small little tasks, but also when you're inside of programs like Premiere Pro, which I'm going to open now by clicking here to demonstrate. Now you can see here that as soon as I've opened Premiere, the screen on my Loupedeck has changed, and that's because it's intelligent. It knows what program is currently at the forefront of your computer, and then it can give you different options when you're inside of that program. So let's open this project right here, see what we can do. So one of my main features, and obviously I'm big at video editing, but this works, let's say, in Photoshop or different editing applications like Lightroom, we can go ahead and go into our basic correction here by clicking on color, and then we can use these dials here to actually dial in our basic correction. Now my favorite feature of this is full screen. I can put the project in full screen, which then gives me all of this space to be able to go in and dial in things like my exposure, the highlights, the shadows, and this really is a fine adjustment. Every single little click you can see it change, and obviously you can twist it fast to get a vast change. This is game changing for colorists and people that, well, would love to work with a physical dial inside of their computer, and it does work really, really well. So I've got my computer now on a really low volume, and I can actually independently control the volume inside of the Spotify application to the volume on my computer. Now I can see this being really, really useful for people that are streaming on Twitch, for example, and want to have their gameplay volume really loud, but they also want some music in the background on nice and quietly. Well, they can actually go ahead and change the volume specifically of Spotify by itself. And this green sort of skip here, this is Spotify specific skip. So you can see here as I twist this knob on the right hand side, this is changing the track in Spotify, but this isn't Windows seek control, this is just Spotify specific control. So if you had a YouTube video playing, for example, this would still just control Spotify. Now, if you go into custom actions, this is where I've set up a lot of my custom applications. So as you can see down here, if you click on applications, we've got Chrome, Discord, Origin, Spotify, WhatsApp. And these are ones that aren't built into Loupedeck, but things that I've created specifically. So if we click on the WhatsApp one, for example, you can see I've got my icon that I custom made in Photoshop, and that is simply just opening the WhatsApp exe. So when this is clicked, it then opens up my WhatsApp. Now obviously you can do custom macros as well, and that is what my print screen button is. So if we open the general commands here, I've made a new one called print screen, and as you can see, this is just Control 5. So if I click Control 5 on my keyboard, that will then let me print screen, and all this is doing is just being a shortcut for Control 5. So as soon as I click it, it then does Control 5 and it lets me do a screenshot. Okay, so the question still stands, what do I actually think of the Loupedeck Live, and do I think it's worth a spot on your desk? And let me tell you this, it's a pretty simple device and I'm a pretty simple guy, so therefore we're gonna get on like a house on fire. But all jokes aside, I think this device is really, really cool. Not only is it built well, but it also functions well as well. I don't think it'd be anywhere near as good or interesting to use if it didn't have these dials on it. I think having the dials on this really opens up all the doors for different things like volume control at a simple level, but let's say you're actually a creative and you wanna go in like I showed you and dial in your colors in Photoshop, Premiere, or Lightroom, this device can also do that, and at the same time, it's not gonna break the bank. Yes, these are 200 odd pounds, but the other creative tools that Loupedeck make on a more professional scale are a hell of a lot more expensive than this. So if you've been interested in Loupedeck for quite some time, this is a really great way to get sort of accustomed to the ecosystem. And obviously it's called the Loupedeck Live. Yes, it can do all of the cool things that the other Loupedeck devices can do, like interacting with Adobe Suite, but you can also do all your streaming on this and have it set up like I have with just simple macros. It caters to a large audience, and I do think if you did get this, you wouldn't be ill impressed. But that's been it. My name's been Alex. This has been TechFlow, checking out the Loupedeck Live. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.